What is going on, guys? Joey Franzo here with Flex Training Systems. I hope you guys can hear me all right. Today I'm bringing you the mildly controversial, mildly talked about, even though this video has 970,000 views. Shout out to White Lights Media. Pretty much just the whole meet breakdown. If you guys don't know who I am, I coach Daniella Melo. Daniella Melo. I'm not even going to cut that out. Daniella Melo and Amanda Lawrence. You may be wondering, how is that possible? How can you coach two people on the same team and have them compete against each other? Well, we're gonna kind of get into that. Everybody has an opinion these days, so we're gonna I'm just gonna give you guys my side and tell you guys my perspective. If I'm constantly looking down, it's because I have actually written notes for this, which is not something I normally do for my videos. I usually just go off the top. But something you guys gotta understand is that both of these girls came to me through personal means, if that makes sense. Meaning, obviously you guys know that Sean is very close to me, and Sean's obviously been with Daniella for many years, and he's previously done all her training. But you guys, try coaching your significant other. Tell me how that goes. Tell me if it works out. Tell me if it's something that is ideal, and then, basically me stepping in is just to kind of make it so that, I'll just speak from my own experience. In my relationship, it's very difficult sometimes for the significant other to separate coach from significant other, right? They get melded together all the time, and it just creates friction. It's sometimes you need to be hard on them as their coach when they see you as their significant other. So it just makes it easier when you have someone else doing that, right? So obviously that explains why I'm there for Daniella. And then for Amanda, she had previously just not had good meets, and she wanted a change. But we had been talking for quite some time, and then finally push came to shove. She was just fed up with her current situation, and I felt, I had been very up to date with what was going on with her, and I was like, you know what, I'll take you onto the team. You already get along with people, which is big for me. I want people to get along on the team. And so we're here. So now here I'm coaching both of them. Whenever I show praise to either one of these lifters, there is, people, if I post Amanda, people think she's my favorite. If I post Danny, people think she's my favorite. If I comment on one, people say whatever, and this doesn't bother me, but to them, maybe sometimes they can get in their heads and things like that. So it just creates another obstacle to deal with, which is a shitty part of just people using the internet. Typically, like I said, I try to keep everyone together. Amanda was very new to the team. Obviously, I had known Daniella for a long time. I wanted Daniella to feel welcome. I wanted Amanda to feel welcome. Even just coming into IPF Worlds, it's a new setting for her, whereas I had been here, multiple times. And, it's just, I wanted everybody to get along and everything to be good for both of them. If I'm in this situation, it's the stronger lifter is going to win. It's not going to be, unless you screw up, unless you make a mistake. If the lifter doesn't execute, then that's on them. I'm just going to let this run, and then I'll come back when I start talking about lifts. But yeah, I try not to play favorites. I just call things like I see it. Like I said, you got to stay objective. A little bit more backstory. So for Worlds, it's not just me out there. It's the world. I have to collaborate with the world head coach with the submit numbers ahead of time, and we just have to make sure that everybody's on the same page, so that meet day runs seamlessly. I had Russell the day before this. Everything was great. Arian pretty much didn't. He was not a limiting factor in any way. He kind of let me just call whatever. The plan that we submitted is like literally the plan we executed, and everything was perfect with the rest of the meet. So I'm expecting the same thing coming in with the girls. For the most part, everything was fine. He didn't really, like I said, he was very helpful. Everything was good. Girls, you know, they did their thing. They executed what was on the bar, and um, I'm happy with like what we did on meet day and what was executed as far as numbers that were called and how things played out. I go to bed at night like content with that. I'm cool with it. I don't have any problems, and I don't think anybody got screwed over. Um, I had many people come voice to me, after the meet, um, that they felt Amanda was the stronger lifter coming in, and that the stronger lifter won. And I was asked many times who I felt was the stronger lifter and who was going to win, and I didn't know. I literally didn't know. Typically, these things solve themselves on meet day. There's so many other little variables. For example, if Amanda gets this squat, she has a very considerable lead, and then, Danny makes up some of the gap on bench, but is it going to be enough to kind of like cancel out the squats completely? You never know. And then is Amanda's deadlift going to overcome Danny's big bench? It's like you never know. It could go either way. So like I said, the day played out how it played out, and for what was called and how things went, I'm completely happy with it. I like everything that we could do as coaches. I think we did with the lifters' interest in mind. As far as training, they both did a fantastic job making progress. Amanda did a complete 180, fixing her technique, and her bench came up big time. She had a 7.5 kilo PR. I think we did a 12-week prep, so that's very significant for her. Cleaned up her technique. Her grip did a full 180. I was so happy with that. Like, I cannot tell you guys how much better her grip was here versus her prior meets. So really happy about that. I did mention grip one time to Daniella, but she assured me that it wouldn't. She the only time she ever missed was hook, I believe, and because of her hands tearing. So we didn't really hammer that as much, although I do make everybody do holds. So they made great progress. The meet day plan was executed, just kind of how it was supposed to be. And then I like I said, I didn't know who was going to win. It usually handles itself. People felt Amanda was stronger coming in. I always know that I know what Daniella can do, and I know that Daniella's a threat, so I never count her out. And I literally went into this meet with like, I don't know who's going to win. So now I'm gonna roll it back to the beginning real quick, and we're just gonna kind of go through the lifts. And shout out to White Lights Media for putting this all together. It's a very nicely done video. You guys can see all the attempts come up as they come up. So yeah. Coming into this meet, I felt that a darker singlet would be better. The reason why I think that is because it just makes depth a little bit easier to call, or maybe I think it always plays out in the benefit of the lifter. I mean, if you guys saw Taylor Atwood, I had Russell do it. I always wear black singlet. I think black is just helps you see the leg better, and like this SBD singlet, you see how it has the blue on the sides with the red. Sometimes judges or just the quickness of the squat, like it might get interpreted as being higher than it should be. So that's why I like solid colors. It doesn't have to be black, but like solid colors over, mixing things up. So both of their openers, super easy. Ridiculously easy there, which is how you want it to be. Arian had told me he was worried about Amanda's numbers coming in just because of like historically what she had done in meets. And even though this is me here and I'm telling him, hey, like it'd be like me coming in saying, look, I know statistically you have her doing this, but this is her first competition with me, and I want you to throw all those stats out and just do what I say. He was not about to do that, so we ended up doing like a middle ground approach as far as her openers go. He is easy to work with, and I'm very thankful that he did listen to me. Um, watching this video, looks like Danny may not have been as centered there. You see a little bit of the silver part of the knurling, or the bar sticking out more. Could just be the angle, but this is why it's good to watch film, because you notice little tiny things that need to be changed and adjusted. Very easy squats so far for both of them. This judging crew, we weren't really sure how things were going to go, just because one of the judges was on an earlier day and a lot of girls got reds. But, you know, they were prepared, and Danny ended up getting all 3 of her squats. Amanda missed her 3rd one on depth. But, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I always give it to the benefit of the lifter if it's close, which I think is what you're supposed to do by the rules. Daniella is very happy about that. I think she definitely had more in the tank. So, good job there. Amanda coming out for her 3rd. Just going to run it forward a little bit so we can get into the juicy part, which is deadlifts. Hold on, let's see if we can... you guys tell me what you think about depth in the comments below. It's close, to be honest. Yep, it's pretty close. I don't know. Easy for her. I think she had another 5 to 7 kilos probably. But we got to get depth. So she wasn't really too bummed about it. She did a good job of just kind of like dealing with whatever adversity came up, although there wasn't really much. It was just like that. And then, you know, benches went great. Daniella is a bigger bencher. You guys are going to see that here. She actually takes a world record bench. Shout out to Daniella. Very easy opener for Amanda there. Now with girls, and in general with lifters that have, you know, sub 300 pound, sub 250 pound benches, jumping, you know, 5 to 7 kilos, 10 kilos like you would on a bench, or sorry, a big squat or something, is going to be a much, much higher percentage versus like somebody else that has a bigger bench like me or something like that, right? So you have to be careful, and usually with most girls you're either jumping 7 then 5 or 5 and 2. Very rarely do I go 10 and 7 or 5. But yeah, when you limit those options and you think in kilos, it just makes calling numbers a lot easier. Very solid bench there by Amanda. Probably had another 7, but we're going to be safe and I think jump only 5. As you guys can see, they have the score in the top left. Amanda is trailing by, or leading by just half a kilo, which I believe Danny makes up on her 3rd bench. That is the reason why you always want the chip. It gives you a small advantage. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. And now Amanda's going to go, and I can see the future, so I know she's going to get it. And, yeah, I don't know. Sweden was awesome. Sweden was great. I had a really good time. I really enjoyed it. It was a very good, pleasurable first time international. Like, I mean, I've been out of the country before, but this was like, I've never been to Europe, so this was dope. 3rd bench there for Amanda. Very nice. Probably had 264, I believe it is. But it's Worlds. You cannot afford to miss. So, you know, just staying in the pocket. Literally just staying in the pocket. I believe coming into deadlifts, or right after this, Daniella had said, or I said to Daniella, stay in the pocket. Because from her perspective, this is where it gets tricky, right? Because I need to put myself in that lifter's shoes. Like, okay, if I'm going for this lifter, what do they need to do? Make sure they do that. Okay, now go over to this lifter. What do they need to do? Okay, make sure they do that. Very easy there. You know, that's how you want to be at Worlds, man. You want to keep some juice in the tank so you don't, you know, screw yourself or anything like that. If she misses that, it's a big problem, especially when it's this close. Shout out to Sony for those headphones and Dre Beats. Prime Day just passed, and those beats that Danny has were on sale for like $130 or something like that. So that was cool. But anyway, coming into deadlifts, like I said with Amanda, we had just been focusing on grip. She has like crazy brute strength, but grip has been a problem. But her grip's looking really good today. Very easy opener there. So my mentality is for Danny in this situation is Daniella has a lead. She wants to maintain the lead and pull before Amanda to stack her lead on top of whatever she pulls, and that way Amanda has to jump over that to win. Amanda was lighter, so she just has to tie whatever Danny does, so she does have that going for her. But Daniella here, I told her stay in the pocket because she just has to hit all her deads, stack, all her attempts together plus her lead. That's going to equal some total that Amanda's going to have to tie. That is Daniella's plan. That is her best plan. Pretty simple. Whenever, especially also because, like, I know them both, so I know, like, okay, Amanda could probably pull. She's pulled 585 before with straps, and who knows what she can hold. So it's like, that was a very easy, was that 529, 540, something like that. Very easy there. Her grip was holding solid. Like I said, it all comes down to if she can hold it or not. So yeah, that's Daniella's strategy. And then Amanda's strategy is just like, whatever the big number is going to be after everything's stacked up, she has to try to pull over that. That's kind of how it plays out. I had already spoke with Arian, and I had agreed with me that the stronger puller is going to go after. That's just kind of how it goes. Now Daniella had an opportunity here to put Amanda in a position where she has to pull something kind of big. It would have to be 252.5 kg plus whatever lead Daniella had at the time, I believe. But she ends up getting stuck on her leg, loses balance, and then her grip starts to go. This showed up on her second attempt, but I didn't get to see it until just now. It was a hard thing to see. It's not like I'm standing in the front. I have to stand on the side. Yeah, I just would have been on Daniella more about grip. So this was for the win. And so she ended up holding it. She held it for quite a long time. That's what training does, right? You find problems, you fix them, you execute on meet day, you get shit done. I think we left it up to both girls. Danny had a chance to get that pull, and now Amanda has to pull, I believe it was like 6 kilos or something more. That would have been like right at her limit, and now we're flipping a coin. Is she going to hold it? Is she going to lock it out? Is grip going to be a problem? You never know. But small little technical thing. Danielle ended up missing, so Amanda can tie. It's kind of like if you cancel out Amanda's third squat and Daniella's third deadlift, now they tie. You know what I'm saying? But if they make them both, we're kind of in this same situation. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. It is unfortunate that Daniella missed. I'm kind of curious to see what would have happened if Daniella would have got that pull, and then we put it all on there, and Amanda has to try to pull for the win. I wanted to add that, it's very interesting going way back to, I believe it was the Arnold. I'm not sure if it was this year or last year. I think it was this year. But after Nationals, Daniella had taken 2 months off, like not lifting. Just none. I'm pretty sure it was none because of where she was when we had to start back up. And then after this World, she took, I believe, 3 weeks off. Whereas Amanda had been training the entire time. But I wonder, how would this meet have played out if we count, or we could even look at Nationals to include the 3 weeks off. You guys know I always talk about this game. Powerlifting is cumulative, right? It adds up. Everything adds up. You have to keep working, because the time that you take off, other people can catch you, right? To an extent. I'm curious how nationals and how this would have played out if, Daniella had that extra training time. If she hadn't taken that time off, would she be a completely different lifter? Would Amanda have been as close? Um, it's weird. Like, what if I had inherited Amanda sooner? I always look back and I think, Daniella did a really, really, really good job of bouncing back after the time that she had taken off. Great job, like, coming back. She did everything that she could. Like, when she's on point, she's on point. But when you're not there for X amount of time, that allows your opposition to close the gap, right? This is not just for them. This is with anyone, right? So it's very interesting to see that, and we'll see what happens. So, but like I said, when Daniella's on point, she's on point, and she's training, she's getting stronger. Amanda's a damn workhorse. I told her everything that I had suggested that we needed to do in order to be successful. She did it. She got the kilos. She built the whole freaking gym. She just accommodated everything that I needed for her. Like, all the little extra things. I mean, no, you don't have to buy kilos, but I was like, yeah, it'll be better if you have them. She went out and she got them. It just shows me that she wants it, and that she's willing to do whatever it takes. I know Daniella is very determined, like I said, and I'm very interested to see, had she had that extra training time, what would happen. It's crazy, man. Powerlifting's a nutty game, and there's a lot of different factors that play into it. Yeah, I mean, I love them both. I see them both work in the gym. And if I'm Amanda, I'm going to keep working. And, the work is not done. Danny's going to be on your heels. Some new girl might be on your heels. You never know. You have to keep working. And in this sport, if you slow down, you get caught. If I'm Daniella, I got a chip on my shoulder. I have a fire lit under me. And I want to, just make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to try to have a good rematch. And get the dub back. So that's kind of what helps me with this situation, is like I try to put myself in both shoes, and then play it from that when the time comes. Like I said, I think what happened on meet day, everything was executed correctly. Shout out to the staff, the world staff, for help on everything. Thanks again, White Lights Media, for putting this all together. Obviously, the video is doing great, and makes doing coaches corners like these very easy, so you guys kind of know why things were done. And they're both going to work super hard, and come nationals, you're going to see better versions of each of them. And I believe Daniella had expressed going down to 72s after, so that'll be interesting. That'll be like a whole new thing. And I hope we get a good match at Nets, and that's that. And alrighty, guys, I hope you guys appreciate this. Thank you so much for your time and everything and all the support and all that good stuff. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, tell me down below. And yeah, peace.